The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 9:06 a.m. Monday morning. We got about 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and we have markets catching a little bit of a bounce after quite the acceleration we had on Friday. We get the S&Ps right now up about 20 points, trading at 4173. We get the NASDAQ 100 up 32 points, trading 14,067. The Dow catching a bit after quite the acceleration to the downside on Friday. Dow trading up 243 points, trading 33,400 on the dot right now. And we get the Russell up 22 points as well, 2252. Jumping around to commodities. Bitcoin, quite the acceleration. Bitcoin, we put it on a 15-minute. Really see the run, 31,715. We'll pull that up. That has to do with China over the weekend. Of crude backing off a bit. Crude right now negative 46 cents. We're trading at 70.87. You jump to gold. Gold catching a bid a little bit from the lows we had on Friday as well. Gold made it all the way down to 17.61 Friday afternoon. We're trading right now technically up $10 on the session at 17.79. Silver's up 4 pennies at $26 on the dot. And notes and bonds, a little bit of volatility in the overnight session. We made it all the way up to 132.30. And just like that, how about this 10-year? We're back to 132.03. You talk about some volatility. We're looking at a yield right now in the 10-year of 1.473%. We're looking to come back basically right where we were on Friday for the 10-year. Remarkable considering where you made it to overnight. Over in Europe right now, we got the DAX up about 0.7%. FTSE up about look at the VIX volatility index this morning. I was going to say Asia. Yeah, that's what. Nikkei down dramatically, 3.3% on that Nikkei. My goodness. And we get the VIX. There's a little volatility in the overnight session as you really had the Nikkei accelerating to lower prices. We get the VIX at 2182 this morning. All right, jumping around what we going on. Let's take a look at the S&P to start things off. So we look at Friday's action. Remarkable when you look at where we were. Quite the finish to the trading week. Friday at 3:45 in the afternoon. Now, we had already traded lower throughout most of the early session. We chopped around during the day. Quad witching on Friday. You see quite an acceleration in the last 15 minutes, and it continued after the market closed. You trade on the S&Ps from a price point of 41.74 all the way down to about at 4:45. You're talking about 41.44. You're talking about 30 S&P points that we lost. We continue the lower run down to 41.26 as of about midnight last night. Folks, we've gained 50 S&P points since that time, a remarkable run when you look at it. 41.26, we're trading at 41.72 this morning. We'll jump to the gold contract to take a look where we were last night. Makes it as low as, yeah, that's Friday, Sunday night, chopping around a bit. We were down about 17.68, gold up about 17.79 right now. All right, let's jump to the notes and bonds as we finish it up, because that is quite the move for sure. You put this thing on a daily. Now, look at that bar that we just got. That is today's bar. Right, you accelerated basically to the top of this consolidation that we've almost been in. You could say, I mean, really going back to, you're talking about February, right? I mean, look at the size of the bar that we got already today. Just been chopping around, basically with the higher boundary line of that being at about 132.30, give or take exactly where we got to today. The bottom line of that made it as low as 130.25 back in April. We've chopped around at about a low of, call it 131.15, give or take on the lower boundary line of there. And the 10-year comfortable under 1.5%, 1.47 to kick off the trading week. All right. Jumping into the story we got going on, we got Chairman Powell, quite a week for the Fed last week. He is going to be in front of Congress again with some of the presidents this week, talking about what they have going on. So, getting into Chairman Powell in terms of when he's going to be talking, let's see. He is in front of Congress talking about, where were we? I had him. Where are we? Come on, Chairman Powell. Here we go. So he will be in front on Tuesday. So he's going to be facing lawmakers, give them an update on the Fed support for the economy. So you'll have Chairman Powell out there. We're also going to have policymakers, including New York Fed President John Williams and Boston Fed Chief Eric Rosengren. They're going to be among numerous officials speaking this week who may provide more clarity, and that's after St. Louis's James Bullard said last week interest rates may need to rise in 2022. It's interesting when you think about the task ahead of these Fed governors, okay, and the chairman himself, and when you think about how they may be trying to, this is just my own biased speculation here, okay? But if you have to taper at any point in the next year or two, it would be wise to begin that conversation before you begin that conversation. And really interesting that you have St. Louis President Bullard out there in the biggest, loudest place you could probably be on CNBC at like 8 in the morning on Friday, talking about that he's one of the dots early on in 2022. He's talking about that we may need to raise those rates in 22. That forces the conversation right away. You got a Fed president out there talking about that he's the one that said, one of the people that said in the dot plot, and you get into the dot plot, folks, he's not the only one in terms of when they're talking about raising them, okay? There's your dot plot right there. They rise pretty substantially from where we are right now, which is basically 0%, okay? When you look at 2022, folks, there's plenty of governors out there. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the governors indicated some type of a rate hike in next year. 2 of the governors indicated 2 rate hikes next year. When you fast forward to 2023, you're only talking about 5 of 18. Okay, so Bullard gets the first shot at it. You're going to have a lot of people talking this week, including the Fed chairman himself. He'll be out there on Tuesday, and you really get into, in terms of the numbers here, when you look at the Fed policymakers increasingly concerned that prices will rise more. All right, interesting here. You have the March meeting in black. You got the June meeting. They just wrapped up in blue. Okay, when you look at the risks to the core PCE, okay, risks to inflation. Okay, back in March, you had basically a broad consensus that 12 of the governors were talking about that it's a broadly balanced risk. Maybe you had one of them saying that there was risk to the downside in terms of no inflation. You fast forward to June, and we got 13 of the governors saying maybe it's weighted to the upside in terms of the risk. Where the risks lie, folks, to the upside, in my opinion, on the inflation front as well. We'll see how that shakes out. Let's jump around to some of the FANG stocks as we wait for this market open right now. We'll jump around. We get the mess piece up about 20 points. We get Amazon shares. We got Prime Day, folks. Amazon, talk about pushing all time. Supply chain snap could affect Amazon. Well, it could affect what's available to you on Amazon Prime Day. Don't let Jeff Bezos see that headline. What would he say about that? We'll see if that plays out. Amazon, pretty reliable. Nonetheless, sellers are grappling with widespread supply chain distributions just as they gear up for Prime Day is how they surmise it here. Global shortages, shipping containers, semiconductors. Nonetheless, I imagine Amazon's going to be able to deliver pretty dramatically as they usually do. Amazon pushing all-time highs. This morning it's flat at about 35.85. But look at this acceleration, folks. You're talking about in 2 weeks, Amazon just traded from 31.72 up more than $300 over that time to 34.86, and you're bumping right up against that high. Now, what always happens is you're going to get some headlines over the next couple of days. Amazon's going to get to cherry pick some of the ways that they get to promote how much business they're doing. We're going to hear about how many products they bought, etc. Prime Day today and tomorrow, I believe. Not bad. They have a Prime Day that lasts 2 days. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Golden ratios give shape to everything in our world, represented in the Fibonacci sequence. These special numbers define the patterns that make up our universe. Not even markets can escape the omnipotence of these ratios. Larry Pesavento is a 45-year market veteran who has published nearly a dozen books on the powerful patterns we find in nature and their relationships with the ever-elusive markets. Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, will teach you to harness the power of these natural golden ratios in order to create successful trades. Fibonacci 24/7 is designed to teach the tools you need to identify and act on these undeniable and reoccurring patterns. Sign up for Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, and you will also receive free access to his trading webinar, Trading Strong Trending Markets. Try out Larry's newsletter risk-free. All of TFNN's newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got about 12 minutes to go till the start of trading for the week. We got the S&Ps up about 18 points, far cry from where we were last night, 41.26. The Nikkei really taking it down more than 3% overnight. We jumped to what else we got going on. We were talking about Amazon Prime Day. So Amazon's got it going on today, and Amazon's got it going on right near those all-time highs, as we talked about. Amazon shares basically flat, but you're talking about within about $70 of the all-time highs, and we've traded up $300 over the last 2 weeks. Let's take a look at some of the other FANG stocks out there before we jump into some of the equities moving this morning. We got Microsoft shares up a bit. We got the NASDAQ 100 up 26 points right now. Google shares trading at about, break even, 25 volatility. Trading right now up a bit to 330.51. We'll jump to Netflix shares right at about $500 as well. Okay, jumping around to some of the stocks that are moving this morning. We'll kick things off, and we'll start it with Coinbase I want to talk about. So Coinbase, a little bit lower. We're going to jump from Coinbase, then we're going to jump to Bitcoin. Coinbase, lower. It's been a tough one for Coinbase. Out with their earnings. We'll put this thing on a daily. So Coinbase down another $8 in the pre-market. If you remember, I think this one, what did it go public at? $250 was the reference price. They say it went public. Pretty much an arbitrary price that they put on it. They really probably thought that it would stay above $250. That was their goal, right? To keep this thing above the reference price. Nonetheless, you come out with the numbers back in May. They accelerate to 208. And we're going to be chopping around that area. We're going to open at about 221 for Coinbase. Now we jump over to Bitcoin. We don't have the weekend action on Bitcoin here, but you don't have to have it, folks. We're coming down to some pretty important levels. You put 30,000 on this chart. We break 30,000, and it's a dicey area, folks. We're going right back to basically the lows that we had back in December. You back this thing up even further, as we talked about, and it's basically a straight shot. We get below these levels to about 17,900, somewhere give or take around that area. Maybe you could say 20,000, the next round number that it accelerates to. We've bounced at 30,000 on a couple occasions on Bitcoin, going back to whether it's January of this year. We also made it down to that level on that real first acceleration for Bitcoin back on May 19th. Remarkable when you think about it's over a month now that we've been dealing with Bitcoin craziness, you could call it. We were at Coinbase goes public. Do you know what day, folks? I know what day, because it's the high of Bitcoin. Remarkable. April 14th. We are 9 weeks past Coinbase going public, okay? Barely 2 months. It's been all downward action since then. You got a one reprieve you got in terms of we make it down to 47,000, the market lifts back to 60, and it takes off to the downside. We're trading at 32,580. Now, the news out there today is talking about China, and it matters, folks, for sure, because China, they're out there with their mining in a big way. So they're intensifying the crypto mining crackdown. You got shares down this morning as they're talking about. Extended to the southwestern province of Sichuan, maybe, according to reports, have led to significant decline in Bitcoin's hash rate or processing power. So you get the world's largest digital currency, as we know, accelerating lower. Many Bitcoin mines in Sichuan were shuttered Sunday after authorities in the southwestern Chinese province ordered a halt to crypto mining. According to the report from the Communist Party-backed newspaper Global Times, more than 90% of China's Bitcoin mining capacity is estimated to be shut down. So China really slamming the door there. Bloomberg and Reuters also reporting the move from Sichuan authorities. It follows similar developments in China's Inner Mongolia and Yunnan regions, maybe I'm pronouncing that correctly, as well as from Beijing to stamp out crypto mining amid worries over its massive energy consumption. Really getting a lot of headlines lately with the energy consumption. Elon, of course, talking about that as well. And then you have separately, China's central bank said Monday it had summoned Alipay, the payment services run by Alibaba, and some major banks, urging them to crack down on crypto. Well, we all know what happened with Alibaba and Jack Ma the last time he was summoned. We didn't see him for like 2 or 3 months, okay? China don't mess around. If they're telling them that, hey, cut this crypto trading out, all right? China's already banned financial institutions from providing crypto-related services. Seems like it's a full-on onslaught going on in China in terms of stopping the miners, stopping any type of financial institution from facilitating it in a big way. China's the biggest country in the world, folks. It's going to matter if you take crypto out of there completely. And it looks like those in control in China, not a fan of crypto right now, and that's going to matter. Bitcoin's network is decentralized, meaning it doesn't have any central party or middleman to approve transactions. Instead, the blockchain is maintained by so-called miners. But the tough part here is that, 65% of global Bitcoin mining is done in China right now. So they're really clamping it down in a big way, and we got Bitcoin trading down $2,870. We'll see. Seems only natural that you're going to come down right in this area. We had a low of June 8th. You're talking about 30,915. We had a low on May 19th of 30,205. Just today alone, we're down almost $3,000 on Bitcoin. All right, let's jump to gold. Quite a pullback on gold, of course. We'll zoom in on the action. So gold, let me take this trend line off here to provide a little bit of clarity in terms of what we're looking at. So gold, the run we had from March, you accelerate from basically 1677 all the way up to 1920. We've pulled back. We're right at that 618 on gold. 1779, man, talk about a couple days on gold. Gold gives up basically, what do we do? 1863, down more than $100 over 2 days, right? And you look at where we are in the session, it was basically a one-way trip off of the Fed with a pause overnight. We come into the Fed at 1863. I mean, basically, the market, by 24 hours later, by the time it had digested everything, you're down more than $110 from that price point. And all we've really done is bounce around at about 1778. We're chopping around where we were on that demise ending Thursday. We did make it down to 1761 last night. Crude contract, a little bit of volatility as well. Thursday accelerates to 69.77 just the last few minutes. And we're catching a little bit of a bid on crude, trading at 71.40 this morning. All right. Let's jump around to some of the equities that are moving outside of the crypto sector as we jump around a bit. And I'm going to start it off with airlines. So American, how about canceling hundreds of flights? We're going to hear it, folks. Staffing crunch, maintenance issues, okay? Maintenance issues having to do probably, they had all these planes tied up. Now they have staffing crunches to get them back in rotation. They canceled hundreds of flights due to staffing shortages, maintenance, and other issues. Says it will trim its schedule by 1%. It's a big one. They do a lot of flights, folks, knocking out 1% of their flights through mid-July. So you're talking about a whole month. They're going to knock out 1% of their flights for the whole month, just trying to keep up with the business they have. This weekend's cancellations were higher than that amount, okay? Disruptions come as airlines trying to capture a surge in vacation demand. Exactly. This is not the time. This is where management comes into play, folks. These companies had a lot of time to gear up for the problems that they were going to have, okay? Airlines just have been decimated. We've all been aware that they were going to come back gangbusters, okay? Once we got the vaccine, once we can travel again, can't wait to do some traveling myself. But you're talking about canceling hundreds of flights this weekend due to staffing shortages, maintenance, and other issues. About 6% of the airline's mainline schedule, or 180 flights, were canceled on Sunday. The airline said that equaled about 3% of its total flights, including those operated by regional carriers. Half of those were because of unavailable flight crews, showed a company list, which was viewed by CNBC. On Saturday, 4%, or 123 flights, were canceled. This is the time that they should be making hay. All right, they shouldn't be having to cancel 5 to 10% of their flights because they can't find flight attendants. Now, I understand those concerns. They're valid concerns. They're valid obstacles they have to deal with. But this is where good and bad companies separate themselves, folks. Okay? I'm not sure how it gets done. I'm not in that industry, though. What I do know is that these were foreseeable problems. Okay? They were foreseeable problems. And American really accelerated lower Thursday, it looks like. Not paying the price too much this morning, $22.40. We'll take a little look when we come back, and we'll be back for the opening bell, folks. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Right back in 3 minutes.
Are you having fun trading the markets, but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&P is positive by 19 points right now. NASDAQ 100 barely hanging on to the gains. We've pulled back quite a bit. You zoom in on the action, 5 a.m. this morning. We were trading up there at a price point of about 14,126. NASDAQ 100 giving up about 0.5% since that point, down about 70 points. Still in the positive, though. We get the S&P is up about 21 right now, as I mentioned, about 50 points off the lows we had overnight in the S&Ps. This line we're looking at on my chart, you put it on a daily on the S&P, that is the trend line. We dipped below that level briefly on Friday. We'll see if we can get back within that trend channel line on the open this morning. You see where we are in terms of whether you back it up to November, that run really accelerated higher, and it goes all the way back, folks. We put it on a 3-year weekly or a 5-year daily to get the full COVID run. You're talking about a pretty well-defined channel line all the way since last March. You're talking about 15, 16 months now. 41.74 just dipped below that level, but we may get back in there on the open this morning. We'll see. You're only about 10 points away from where we would be on that trend channel line. Okay, jumping around to some of the other equities moving this morning. So MicroStrategy, they got a lot of Bitcoin, and that is not a good thing when Bitcoin's down $3,000. So MicroStrategy, business analytics company, is among the biggest corporate investors in Bitcoin. Now, it's jumping around here. Yeah, here's the article. They have 100,000 Bitcoin worth more than $3 billion. Shares of the software firm were lower in the pre-market. Not surprising. Bitcoin's down about $3,000, folks, and they got 100,000 of them. Do the math. That's a lot of dollars. 100,000 Bitcoins after completing another purchase round, this time spending roughly $489 million on 13,005 tokens. Virginia-based enterprise software company. I mean, they're basically a Bitcoin holding company at this point. If you're talking about billions of dollars in this crypto, Bitcoin, as we mentioned, down about 8% right now. MicroStrategy said the average purchase price for its 105,000 Bitcoins is $26,000 apiece, including fees and other expenses. The company's holdings were worth more than $3 billion as of Monday. What is their symbol here? MSTR, yes. MSTR is their symbol, okay? We're going to jump over to this for a moment. There's your drop-off from 675 to 603. We're going to jump over to the Analyze tab and the fundamentals. We're talking about right now, folks, a company that's worth $6 billion, okay? That's the market cap right there. $5.897 billion. I bring it up. Now, they only have 10 million shares outstanding, okay? Which is why they're worth, simple math is in 10 million shares outstanding at $604. You're talking about almost $6 billion. Now, I bring it up, folks, because they're in Bitcoin at 20. I just talked about Bitcoin. Be careful of this equity because it's been quite a slide. It does not take a tremendous amount to, you're losing, think about it, right? You got 100,000 Bitcoin, okay? That's worth $3 billion. That could wipe out almost half of the company if this thing trades to zero. If it just trades to 20,000, folks, you're talking about $1 billion loss for only a $6 billion company. That is a substantial material loss, and 20,000 is completely in the books, folks, when we just traded from 38,000 to 32,000 in basically the last 24 hours of trading from Friday morning to Monday morning, okay? So be careful of that one. And as we look back, let's take a look at the markets because we got markets open and we get the markets pulling back a bit. S&P is now up 12 points. We're up about 21. NASDAQ 100 right at 14,000, giving it up a bit. We got the Dow giving it up as well. We're up 183 points still. The Dow had been one of the weakest of the indices. The high in the Dow, 35,000 on the dot. We're trading 33,337. Let's jump to commodities, see how we're trading right now. Crude, 71.45. We get the gold contract hanging tough, up about $10. And we got to jump to notes and bonds because, boy, oh boy, that is some volatility, folks, in a big way. You see the volatility on Wednesday. You trade down to 131.14. From Friday's action, we accelerate higher overnight. Talk about giving it up. We were as high as 132.30 in the 10-year, and you traded down to almost 132. It's almost a full point, folks. Doesn't look like much on this chart just because of the moves we've been getting, but that is a mammoth move in the 10-year. You put it on the daily, just big moves across the board, which is why it doesn't look so dramatic, but we've just been chopping around this area, and you're talking about a yield now in that 10-year of 1.467%. We got a 1.46 handle on that 10-year. Okay, jumping around to what else we got going on. Making it down the list in terms of stocks that are moving. I wanted to jump to Tesla. They have one of their executives selling. Can't blame them there. $274 million in Tesla shares since June 10th. Former Tesla executive. Now, I bring this up, folks, because if it's a current executive, you really got to be careful, okay? Because you'd think that people who are investing their time in a company as an executive in the C-suite would believe in the company and the future growth of that company. Well, this gentleman was there for about 11 years. He's left. His time at the company is past. Might just want to diversify himself a bit. Can't blame him for selling shares to the tune of $250 million since he left. But pay attention, because he's got a lot of insight in that company. And if he thought it was going higher anytime soon, he wouldn't quite be dumping it just yet. So something to pay attention to. Excuse me. We talked about Amazon's Prime Day. How about some beer? Sam Adams, good old Sam Adams, Boston beer. They got a buy recommendation in Sam Adams Beer Brewer, elevated it to a top pick status. Guggenheim notes a depressed valuation, easier retail comps beginning in June, and underappreciated growth prospects for the truly hard seltzer brand. It's going to be a hard seltzer summer, folks. What is it? Is it beer? I think they're just beer. No, Sam. Okay. And so they are up 1% today, but been quite a pullback from 13.49. It's probably what they're talking about. I mean, we're not far off from where we were a year ago in this company, where you pushed 834 and we're trading at 979 right now in Sam Adams. Yeah, and as we speak, giving it up a little bit. We get the NASDAQ 100 back under 14,000 now. You see the trend line possible that I got here in the NASDAQ 100, right in the middle of that area. We did get above it a couple times. As I talked about in the S&P, just below that level briefly, 4170. The Dow, kind of the biggest gainer today, but man, the Dow was accelerating above that trend line for a while. Really gave it up over the last about 2 weeks, from June 7th. Yeah, 2 weeks exactly. You were trading at 34,825, giving up about 1,500 points over that time. Let's check out Boeing, see how we're doing right now as we look to get back in the sky. Boeing up about 0.4% right now. We'll check back to American on their news, down about 0.5%. Pull up some of the other airlines. Delta Airlines up about 0.4% right now. United Airlines up 1%. Southwest giving back some of the gains that it had, back to 55.73, up about 1% right now. We'll finish out JetBlue. Up about, that give back though. Some of these airlines, I mean, you're talking about from 22 to 17, folks. That percentage-wise is a huge pullback. We'll put this thing on a 3-year weekly to get the full COVID encapsulation. You were up basically just above the highs we got pre-COVID. And just like that, we've given it up. If you back things up to the run that began in October, whoops, let's get a Fibonacci number here and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, the 50% is about $1 lower to about 16.40. in JetBlue. Let's jump over to the VIX and see how we're doing as we get a little bit of a pullback right now in the market. Talked about lower lows and lower highs in the VIX, and we might be seeing it again, folks. The high that we just got in the VIX today, 2182. I'll have to update that chart. You don't have to be a genius to see, folks. Lower lows, lower highs across the board as volatility continues to get sucked out of this market. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&Ps positive by 15 points to kick off the trading week, and quite the acceleration we got, as I talked about at the start of the show on Friday afternoon. If you stepped away from your desk at about 3:45, boy, you missed quite an acceleration as we traded down about 30 points, basically within the final 15 minutes until the closing bell, extending those losses past that point. All we've really done is got back to that level. Okay, now I bring it up because we've got back to that level, but it took 50 points of trading action to the upside in the S&Ps. Things looking pretty dire last night, overnight, but market seemed to save itself for the time being, but not quite the start you wanted to see maybe to the week as we get a little negative pressure to kick things off. In terms of what we have going on this week, earnings season almost wrapping up. We kick it all off again, basically starting as the quarter wraps up in June. We kick off a new quarter in July. We'll get those banks kicking things off in the beginning of July as we do, but we're not done just yet. We got earnings, and Thursday's really the big day this week. We get Darden Restaurants, okay, Olive Garden, to name one of the many. So Darden, jumping over to the Analyze tab here. We got the one-day expected move. Now, this is an event, okay, they're talking about, but you're looking at about $8.40 move priced into the earnings there for that event. When we add simulated trades, you're talking about if you want to go for the week, all right? Whoops, that's not the week we want, is it? July 16th? Okay, I see. Darden doesn't have weekly options in here. They're only going to have monthly options in some of these equities. And Darden, you know, if you want to go all the way to July 16th, you're talking about almost a $12.68 move. That's almost a 10% move, folks. Restaurants, though, a lot of volatility right now. And look at the pullback that we've gotten, right, from that high. 149, we were up there March 25th. You're talking about almost 3 months that we've been pulling back in Darden, and really you look at where they got to on November 9th. Now the efficacy of the vaccines comes about. You have Darden trade from 90 up to above 120. But man, you're talking about we almost pushed that level where we're trading at right now. But Darden, they'll be out with their numbers on Thursday, and then we get two of the big dogs, Nike and FedEx. Okay, so taking a look at Nike. Nike shares really giving it up a bit in terms of baking it to a high of about 147. We're back to 129. We're basically back to where we were earnings all the way back in September of last year. Is that right? Yes, it is. September of last year. We're going back about 9 months for their earnings, where you jump to about 129. Nike's pulled back, which are in at 129.21, up about 0.6%. They're out with their numbers on Thursday. And also we get, how about FedEx, right? FedEx out with their numbers. They're up about 1.4%. You put this thing on a 3-year weekly to get the full encapsulation. We were trading at $155 before COVID. You get down to $88. The world figures out that everything is going to need to be shipped because nobody's shopping in person anymore. FedEx drives from 88 to $319.90, and you're sitting at about $290. Now, the Analyze tab, we're talking about a $14 move on their numbers, and they do, of course, have weeklies for the entire week. All right, if you want action until Friday, quite the move. You're talking about $18. And if you do want to go out to July options, man, quite the volatility. Again, almost about a 10% move priced into this stock. That's going to encapsulate the move on earnings, okay? So you're paying about $14.55 premium just for the earnings event, and then you'd be paying an additional about $11 or $12 of premium implied volatility just to push out through July. So some decent earnings there. We also get Bed Bath & Beyond with their numbers out on Thursday as well. All right. Hope everyone had a great Father's Day out there this weekend. My first Father's Day, always exciting. And John Rahm, believe that's how you pronounce it, gets it done on the U.S. Open. His first Father's Day, too. Nice scene there when he closed out that tournament. Back-to-back birdies on 17, 18 for Rahm. And it was just a great tournament to watch. First U.S. Open champion from Spain, where he finished 2 brilliant birdies to outlast Louis Oosthuizen by 1 stroke, right? So he birdied 17 and 18. I believe Louis Oosthuizen, he birdied 18 as well to close the gap within 1. Louis had to basically hole out from about 70, 80, 100 yards, something like that, to tie it. Didn't make it happen, but a great shot nonetheless. Rahm gets it done. And he had just been disqualified, I think, having to do with COVID a few weeks back. Do they get into it here? Yeah, maybe not. Oosthuizen, he's been second 6 times, I think it is. Yeah, so he did birdie the final hole of 71. Another bitter pill. Finished runner-up at last month's PGA Championship and 6 career second place for the 4 tournaments that compromised the Grand Slam. So he's got 6 second-place finishes. The only thing I'll add to that is a consolation prize, second-place finishes at golf's majors, folks. Lots of cash that goes with the consolation prize coming in second place at those majors, so I'm sure he's doing just fine for himself, but a little bittersweet once you're at that level of competition to come in second place 6 times for the majors. You had Phil doing it for a while, right? Mickelson before he got it done. Nonetheless, good tournament on Father's Day, and really cool seeing him with, he's got a new kid out there as well, kind of a little bit of emotional. Okay, what else we got going on? Let's jump around to some of the stocks we got taking a look at. We'll jump to some of the ones that I love taking a look at. Disney shares, quite the pullback here. Now, that's a 3-year weekly. Let's back it up. We'll put it on a daily for some context here. We'll zoom in on the action. I keep this Fibonacci retracement up there. That's from the run in November where things really accelerated from 117 to 203. Disney's been shopping around. They got about a 382 retracement of $170 on Disney. That looks to be a little bit of an area of support. Want to see Disney hold that. Uber shares have pulled back as well. Uber, when you look at a pretty similar comparison, Uber makes it all the way back to the 618. Today, you're down 2.8%. Volatility continuing on Uber, 48.29 right now on that equity. And let's jump around to Amazon, see how we're trading as they got Prime Day kicking things off. Amazon giving back some of the gains we had last week. In terms of accelerating higher to 35.07, you got Amazon trading at 34.52 this morning. We'll jump to Microsoft shares, giving it back a bit as well. NASDAQ 100 down 41 points. Microsoft down about 0.1%. Google has been so strong recently. Google down about 0.25%. Facebook shares down about 0.33%. Netflix shares down 1.1% to kick things off in trading. Let's take a look at the gold contract. Gold pretty tame this morning, $17.76. You're up about $70. You've just been chopping around near the lower boundary line of where we were on Thursday. Made it down to $17.61 on Friday. And we'll take a look at notes and bonds as well. Pretty calm action basically since about 9 a.m. when I started the program. No real move. We got the move overnight. You trade up. Sunday evening, we open at about 132.13. You drive to 132.30. Before giving it up at about midnight Eastern time. We trade from 132.30, almost a full point in the 10-year. I've talked about it a couple times, but man, I had to do a double take when I saw that move this morning in the 10-year to say, was that a full point? Was that a full point that we gave up overnight? I was not up at midnight Eastern time. Did not see that move. But we're trading 132.03 in that 10-year. And like I said, we're going to get Chairman Powell Tuesday in front of Congress. We're going to get some Fed governors this week. The inflationary conversation, folks, it is going to persist, whether Chairman Powell likes it or not. And just like that, we got the S&Ps pushing back towards the pre-market highs we had at 41.75 this morning. Let's jump over to the volatility index. Back under 20, but still some volatility, probably rightfully so, priced in after how we ended the day on Friday. We get the VIX trading just under 20 at 1989 this morning. We'll check out Bitcoin. A little bit of a lift off the lows. Bitcoin trading at 33,000 this morning. All right, folks, stay tuned. We come back from the break, finish up the show. We got S&Ps up 23 points. We got the Dow up 318 right now, coming off of tough week with the Dow last week. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets trading higher. We get the S&P up 28 points now. We're talking about 4180, we'll call it, almost 60 points from that low. Quite a flash low we got. We're actually above where we were trading at on Friday afternoon. You have to back things up to get to where we were on Wednesday. You're going to be coming into the lows that we had. You see the volume on the S&Ps right now. You're coming basically right down to the lows we had, whether it was Wednesday, intraday during the Fed, also back to kind of where we were on Thursday. We're going to come up right to those lows. Those areas were support last week. We'll see if they turn into resistance this week. Nonetheless, we got all the markets in the green, folks. If you ain't buying the dip, you ain't doing it right. I kid, but man, oh man, this market is relentless is the word that I would use. As we continue to accelerate higher, the Dow had the worst week it has had since October, and the Dow comes out of the gate firing. We're up 358 points, up a full percent right now in the Dow. You get the Russell up 1.1% as well, trading at 2255, and the S&P is up about 0.75%. Bitcoin holding steady at about 33,000 this morning. We got gold holding at 1775. Silver pretty much flat right now, down about 2 cents in silver at 25.94. In the note and bond contract, we're talking about a yield right now, 1.48% on that 10-year. And you jump to the 30-year, we're down 23 ticks. How about the 30-year? How about the 30-year giving up basically 3 points? The 30-year giving up 3 points since where we were overnight. I'm trying to back up to see if I can figure out the yield on that 10-year in terms of when we are at a high here of 132.30. I mean, you were probably dealing with a yield of 1.43%, something like that. And we've risen a bit to about 1.48 now as the price pulls back to 132.02. As we see this market just continue to accelerate higher, folks. It's not stopping. And let's finish it up as we do. We're going to pull up, where are we? Market Watch, there we go. The indices, the S&P 500. So there's a good indication of where the strength is. How about the Dow, right? Crushing it. The tech stocks kind of in the red. Don't see this often. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, Salesforce, Adobe, PayPal. Well, look at financials, staples, energy, materials, industrials. Should be an exciting week, folks. Stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman coming up now. Fast Market at 11. Larry Pesavento, Steve Rhodes, Dave White.